I bought some plants. Stunning. I wish you guys could smell this because it's incredible. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and my garden. It is time for an update. I filmed this video over the course of several different weeks. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. We were finally able to clear out this area. We put the bins inside the garage there, and there is now space. As you can see, I bought some plants. So we're gonna remove some tiles here, bring the border up to the terrace a little bit further, and I'm gonna plant some edible plants over here, make a little garden patch with some decorative plants as well. Just want to make sure that this looks nice and we have something that we can eat from there. So yeah, that's the job for today. I will walk you through all the plants that I have in a minute once I have actually planted them. But first, let's get rid of some tile here. Alright, here's what I arrived at so far. So I have this little guy. This is gonna grow nice and big, so I'm gonna put that towards the back. All of this is gonna be vegetable patch, so it's gonna be bare in winter. So I wanna have something that's gonna be interesting in winter as well. This keeps its leaves, so yeah, that's gonna be for winter interest. Back there I have my veggies. I have here cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, a little eggplant. That plant is very thirsty, I need to water that ASAP. And my raspberries are going in there. Then I have some strawberries that I'm gonna plant along this edge right here. I got more herbs. I have sage, this is oregano, lemon verbena, this is chives, and dill. So I'm gonna plant those here, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and transplant the parsley that I have in here, because I feel like it's being crowded out by the lemon balms. So I'm gonna have herbs in front, vegetables in the back, and strawberries. There isn't much this year, but I don't want to plant everything. I want to keep like this portion of it free for a vegetable patch. Next year maybe. This big purple plant is going down there. I'm gonna remove some of these potentially weeds, potentially flowering things, but in any case this is gonna go down here to give some color to the center of the garden. It's been a couple weeks since I last spoke to you, and since then the garden has exploded with flowers. It looks so good. Jasmine is blooming. We see pinks and purples and whites everywhere. I'm gonna do a detailed tour in a bit, but first it's time for another haul. There are still a few spots in the garden in its current size that need filling because there's nothing there and weeds keep growing. So for example, this bit right here, there's just nothing there. Right there in between my California lilacs and my irises, there's just nothing except for weeds. So I was really looking for one big structural piece to plant it there. Yeah, other than that, there's a little bit of space here, and yeah, just mainly this area is still empty and it kind of bothers me. And I figured this needed a good evergreen, something that will keep its leaves in the winter and also something that will provide a little bit of colored interest. So I decided to go for this guy. It's a nice big shrub. This is Elaeagnus Vivileg. I hope it'll do well here because it's a bit of a Mediterranean plant and we have quite clay-like soil here, so yeah, we'll have to see how it does, but I would love for this to work because I think this is the perfect thing to put there. It's the right size, it is evergreen, and it has beautiful two-toned leaves. I also got a white hydrangea just because I absolutely love white hydrangeas. We have several hydrangeas already. We have two pink ones, one back there, and we have a blue one, but I admire white hydrangeas so much, so I really wanted to have one. And this is a very compact variety that should stay small, so I'm gonna pop that in front right here next to my California lilac, which blooms a beautiful blue. I got two salvias here that I'm gonna pop right there next to the bench where there's still a little bit of an empty spot, and I think it's gonna look great against those white flowers back there. Also a perennial. And then I got this, which my husband then remarked that we apparently already have, but it just goes to tell you how much I like this plant. This is, let's see, Sagina subulata. Anyways, it's beautiful, it blooms the entire season, and it's a great ground cover. And I want to pop that also just back there to kind of prevent some weeds from growing there. So yeah, I have a little bit of time to just pop this into the garden, so let's go ahead and do that. I love it. I love it. I think it looks great. This is just what the garden needed. Love this one as well. And that, yeah, just a pop of color that was necessary there. I do think though that it maybe would be a waste to put all of those back behind the bench, because they will disappear in there a little bit. I'm thinking I might do two just there and two here maybe, just to fill out this space. Not gonna come too close to the tree, but just right around there. I think that would be nice. Yeah, this is just, oh yeah, perfect. It's been a couple of days, but today is the perfect day to take you on a tour through the garden. The new plants that I planted have settled a little bit. I mulched the whole thing again because mulch is amazing. The more I read up about it, the more I'm like, yes, this is something I need to do. Plus, it also just looks really good. So many things are in bloom right now. Some things that had finished blooming have come in for a second flush. It's amazing. Let's go. Starting in the patio area, the planters up there struggling a little bit. Well, I don't think they're necessarily struggling, but they're coming in for their second flush. And the old growth is not looking the best. A little bit dried out, but I have been going through that, just picking out all the old stuff. I recently trimmed that lavender, and I do think I can see some new buds popping up there, so that should start blooming again soon. You can see all of these scraggly bits that have finished blooming, but there is new growth coming in from the top here as well. This has these beautiful white flowers, so yeah, waiting for all of that to come in again. Same thing's happening here. All of this has finished blooming, but we have new growth coming in from the center. some flowers in that one as well. This one's struggling a little. It's in a pot that I think is a bit too small. Oh gosh, guys, look at the jasmine. This is a dream. This was a very, very good decision. I love both the jasmine itself. It's stunning. It smells incredible. But also just this as an item, like as a structural piece in the garden. It provides a really nice separation between the patio and the garden area. And some visual interest also when you look at it from the living room, just looking out. Yeah, very good decision this. Very happy with that. So yeah, the jasmine is in full bloom. It smells incredible. When I opened that door in the morning, the whole room just fills with this lovely jasmine scent. It's the best thing ever. I absolutely love it. The lavender that is in along with it, I also recently trimmed. So hoping for that to produce a second flush of blooms, but we'll have to wait and see. One of the things that I learned this year is that you cannot cut into the woody growth of lavender, and that is probably why I kept killing mine, because I would always cut my lavender way back, like even some of my older, more woody lavender. You can't do that. So this time I'm making sure to trim in time before all this turns brown and hard, so that I can maintain the shape and hopefully encourage a second flush of blooms. But yeah, still smells incredible, and lavender looks nice even when it's not blooming. So yeah, very happy with this as well. Then moving on to the little vegetable patch. This is my first time ever growing fruits and vegetables. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Most of these are herbs, which are doing great actually. The herbs are thriving. This used to be in a pot and it's doing so much better now, this parsley, now that it's out in the ground. This oregano is doing great. Someone's been stealing my tomatoes. Yeah, oregano is doing great. The chives are beautiful in bloom. Just love that. Sage is thriving. That verbena, look at it. It's taller than my cucumber plant. Incredible. I also have a little ant farm in here. So when I try to pick something off of this, the ants bite me because I'm touching their farm and they don't like that. But yeah. So I try to just pick off individual leaves rather than whole sprigs at a time. I had some dill back there which completely disappeared. It must have been eaten, I guess. Probably by slugs. We have a lot of slugs in here. As you can see, when you look at my eggplant is struggling. First of all, it's a diva plant. It needs water every single day, probably several times a day. But then when it rains and it gets wet, the slugs just attack it. So the leaves are quite tattered. Some of the eggplants are completely eaten. There you can see, but I do still have some growing in, so I'm sure I'll be able to harvest some. That one's eaten. But yeah, I'm not having the best of luck with that one. I do have a bunch of cucumbers coming in there. They're so tiny right now, but I want to pickle and ferment those. Oh, it's gonna be great. Oh, I see a big one here, actually. Yeah, this is great. Love that one. No raspberries yet. And also no strawberries. I'm a little bit disappointed by the amount of strawberries. I was expecting more. This is pretty much the only plant that has a couple strawberries coming in, but none of the others seem to be doing anything really. I do think strawberries come back every year, so maybe next year they get established a little bit more and they produce more fruit, but yeah, just a couple here. We'll see. Tomato is doing fantastic. Very bountiful crop on that one. It's very full and yeah, lots of fruit on that one. And these tomatoes taste incredible, so I'm very happy with those. There we have a new shrub that I planted, so waiting for that to slowly grow. Looks to be settling all right. It looks nice. This has started blooming and it's so gorgeous. I just love these purple flowers. Oh, stunning. I could cut some of these and put them in a vase inside. It's so beautiful. Alrighty, so a little overview of the next area here we're coming into. I have some more of my herbs here. This is that flower that I planted from seed in my first gardening video. I don't know if you remember, in my attic I planted a bunch of seeds. I think maybe I should have put this just down in proper soil. No flowers yet on this. Thyme is producing flowers, looks good. Lemon balm looking a bit questionable, seems to be in favor with some insects, but yeah, it's alright, it's alright. I have new growth coming in and I've given it some more space here to spread out. Mint is doing much better since it's in a raised pot. However, this fell like 2 days after I got this pot and completely cracked in half, just down the center. That it may not be getting enough water right now because it doesn't retain water as it should, but it's a brand new pot, so I also didn't want to replace it straight away, so I'm just gonna wait and see what happens there. It seems to be growing fine. It dried up a little bit in that whole period where we had no rain for like 2 months. But there's a lot of new growth coming in now that it's raining a bit more, so that's great. My blue hydrangea, oh, this was a wedding gift from one of our guests and it is stunning. Makes me want to turn all of my pink hydrangeas blue as well. But also I like the variety, so maybe I'll keep this one as a blue hydrangea and keep the pink ones pink. This plant right here, I was hoping it would do a little bit better. I don't know what happened here. It may have also been that dry spell that we had. A bunch of it has dried out there. It is still producing flowers though, which is good. So it may pick back up maybe next year, maybe later in the season. We'll see. I popped some of these flowers in here to just fill out the area a little bit, and I feel like these with their color are the perfect bridge between the blue hydrangea and the pink hydrangea back there. So I just wanted to have something that was an in-between color to kind of tie all of this together. Speaking of my pink hydrangea, both of my hydrangeas in the backyard had a really difficult time of it last year. These plants are spoiled. I have hydrangeas in the front garden which I never water, honestly. Never. And they do so well. They don't need anything. I think these have been spoiled with too much water. I don't think I did it. I think this is a previous owner problem. But yeah, they struggled a lot through last summer and are still not looking the best. This one is alright, it's producing flowers at least, but this one in the back here, I had to completely cut that back. Actually several times in the season, and it at least is growing leaves right now, but I think this needs some fertilizer potentially because the leaves are a bit light. I was hoping for a bit of a darker color. No blooms on this one, but yeah, I was expecting that because I cut it back completely, but hopefully that picks up in a bit. But back to the pink one. I'm gonna try and fertilize it. I bought some hydrangea fertilizer specifically for those, so we'll see what that does once I use that. Maybe, hopefully it helps the leaves a little. But yeah, more blooms coming in soon. New ones coming in there, and the pink ones look good, so I'm hopeful. Then here I have this lady's mantle, which is this. Everyone keeps warning me that plants will spread throughout the garden. This is the worst in this garden. It spreads everywhere. Like, I could easily leave this garden and it would be covered in lady's mantle, but I'm trying to contain it to just mostly this one patch, which I do actually really like. I think this is a nice plant. I just don't want it everywhere. Alright, so the next section over in the garden, I just love how this looks. It's coming together so nicely. That bush was the perfect addition. I feel like, yeah, it really lifts up the whole garden space. So you may remember that I was leaving some weeds just growing throughout to see if they would bloom or not. This is the last patch of them that I left. I ripped them out everywhere else because they do bloom. They bloom a nice kind of like pinky purpley color, but it's disappointing. I don't think it's worth it. So eventually, as I did replace them with perennials or just like shrubs and things like that, I did pull them out, but I left some here. that's my weeds. Back there we have this lovely flower. Oh, and there's a little butterfly on it as well. I don't know what these are called actually. They are a perennial. They have returned every year for us so far, and this is their second flush of blooms. I'm glad I didn't cut them away too soon. I wasn't expecting a second flush from these, but here we are, and it's absolutely stunning. I love them. They look like little fairy hats. Gorgeous. This is potentially my best purchase of the year because this has been blooming the entire season since I got it, and I do think this also stays green the entire year, so love this. Might need to get myself more of these. Lavender again. This is English lavender, so I'm gonna have to cut that back soon because the flowers are going brown a little. So yeah, Gonna have to keep my eye on that, but I do already have some new ones coming in here. This is a bee magnet. I believe this is catmint. Bees on it all the time. Love to see it. Very happy with that. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful big plant, and I love it. Also this, I love it. It's so cute. It's perfect as a kind of first row of flowers. Back there I have my California lilac, my irises, which just need to strengthen. I have more hope for those next year. I transplanted those from Slovakia actually into this garden this year, so yeah, I'm giving them a little bit of time to adjust. My new shrub here, gonna keep a close eye on that to see how it settles, because again, the soil isn't ideal for it probably in here, but it might do well, so we'll see. And then my white hydrangea. Oh, isn't this just the most beautiful plant? White hydrangeas are quite popular around here, and I always admire them when I cycle across a house that has white hydrangeas. So I just really wanted one, and this is one of those forever and ever, I think they're called, variety that just keep blooming for a very long time. So we'll see how that goes, but so far it's stunning. This California lilac here is producing some fruit, which is a good sign. I'm gonna assume that means it's healthy. And then I have this, another unknown to me perennial, which just pops up every year with these stunning balls of white flowers. Absolutely love it. The flower heads are a bit heavy for it, so it starts to droop after a while, but it's just stunning. If anyone knows what this is called, please do let me know. But I love it. It's the perfect color. I love round white flowers, if you couldn't tell yet. This, my new salvia. Oh, that one dropped all of its flowers in the rain yesterday. We had some rain. It seems to have dropped everything, but hopefully some new ones will come through. Here I have some more of that white tiny flower plant that I just showed you, and over there as well, just to fill up that space a little. That one is up there as well. And here, viburnum, which is going into autumn mode already, it seems, some of the older leaves, but it is also growing nicely, getting bigger, which is good, so it can bear lots of flowers next year. So just allowing that to strengthen a little bit. We discussed my sad hydrangea here. Rhododendron has finished blooming. This is what it's gonna look like for the rest of the season. My one sad hosta back there, yeah, didn't make it. It got slugged. Even despite the rocks that I scattered around it, nope. Maybe next year, we'll see. So my foxgloves got super tall this year, and I'm leaving them for a little bit so that they drop seeds, and I have a bunch next year. I have both purple and white, and they were just fantastic. So leaving those a little bit longer, we'll see what comes of that next year. A little bit disappointed in my clematis here. I was hoping that would put on more growth. It had a spectacular show of flowers, but not that much growth, and I'm hoping to eventually trail that along the entire fence. But maybe I should have trimmed some of those flowers off so that it had more energy to put into the leaves. This is my little wildflower patch. This is where I sowed those seeds, that blue flower seed mixture, and all kinds of things popped up, which I didn't actually expect, because after I sowed those, first we had weeks of non-stop rain, so I was worried that they had flushed away, and then we had weeks of drought. I'm actually surprised by how well these did and how many different kinds of flowers we have in here. Let me show you a couple of them. We have that little one, which is adorable. We have this one right here. A lot of this is doing great. This one. Lovely blue flowers. I have a bunch of that. This is a different one again, I guess. We have this, and this one has flowers that bloom for exactly one day, or not even a day, a couple of hours. I do think there are some open in the front yard. I may just hop in there to show them to you, because they are gorgeous, but the blooms are so short-lived. This is a funny story actually. As we were digging the holes to plant our tree back there, Robert accidentally cut some bulbs in half. And I just took the whole chunk of clay and just threw it down here, expecting to just, clean it up later. But then these cut in half bulbs, you can see them here. They are literally sliced in half. They started growing and growing and growing and growing, and now they're blooming. So, you see, nature's gonna nature. The other half of it is back there. This one's doing great. Up here seems to have settled in all right. I have that, which was already here when we moved in. Again, not sure what this is called, but looks really nice. Like having it there. It's nice and cheerful. This, I kind of wish I had put this into ground because it's been amazing. Again, flowers the entire season. Looks fantastic. That one is a wilderness. Yeah, I haven't kept up with that one, but I will plant something there next year. And then our trees are putting on some leaves. It's a slow process, but I hope that they are focusing on developing roots first and then leaves. So we'll see how these do next year. Especially this one is looking a little bare. That one is filling out nicely. Yeah, that one has a nice amount of leaves considering the amount of twigs it has. That one is a bit more bare, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll give it time. The giant leafy things that we had in here have finished for the year, so I cut those away, and it's looking a bit bare here now, but that's all right. I'm sure I will have something here next year when we do develop this area further. We're thinking of removing more tiles here and possibly putting something large here, like a tree or maybe that lilac that I'm still dreaming of. This could be a nice place for it, and then we can move. And then we have this parasol, and we could move that forward a little bit because right now it doesn't really cover our sitting area. We have this little surprise here, some kind of viola, I think, just growing, just really cute, so we've kept that. And then let's move on to my little shade garden and roses. So the roses were stunning, even though they were a little bit different than I expected. So this is the Olivia Rose Austin. The Olivia Rose Austin, which was supposed to be a beautiful soft pink, and it was. It was. And then this is my Schneewittchen, my Snow White rose, which was supposed to be Snow White. It wasn't. It was absolutely pink. Just very, very pink. And I do believe how pink or how white they turn out has to do with the light, the amount of light that they receive. So maybe now that it has been in its, final place for a while, it will settle into a different color. Because when it started blooming the first time, it had been in the garden center, of course. The Olivia is also putting on new flowers. I will show you these once they start blooming, because I don't think I've actually shown you these in full bloom yet. But yeah, that's coming soon. This hosta has started blooming just yesterday or the day before, and it is stunning, absolutely gorgeous. I'm very, very happy I got this one. It was a great choice. I might get more of these to pop back there in that bit of the garden, because I love this. This is perfect. This is everything I want in my garden. And these foxgloves, I think, are of the biannual variety, if I'm saying that right, where the first year you just get leaves and then the second year you get flowers. So I'm gonna have to be patient with those. This is also putting on a second flush of blooms, a second show. Yeah, they look like this, and there are new ones coming in. This is what the garden currently looks like, and I am obsessed. This is definitely getting closer to what I had dreamed of, and I think this is more or less the best it's gonna look this year. I really need to stop buying plants. We do have more plans for this garden though. We definitely want to remove more tile and eventually replace the tile altogether. I talked about that. This stack, by the way, is just sitting there until we get this picked up. There are several dates where the municipality will just pick up any tile that is removed from gardens, and we're just waiting for that date to come around. So until then we stack them here, but those are we're gonna hand those in. What we're thinking of doing eventually at some point is perhaps potentially smashing up these tiles and making a little pathway with the smashed up pieces. That's gonna look a lot more organic, provide a lot more room for the water to seep down into the soil and just the plants to grow in between, and it's just gonna look a lot nicer, and we can make a nice meandering path through the garden leading onto the back terrace there. And then in between we just want to have just one path. So that's a project for not this year. In any case, obviously it's going to require more plants then when we do that. I talked about briefly wanting to have more going on here, because I feel like this is an underutilized area of the garden. There's just a lot of tile here, which we can't really remove all of that because we have the garage, which you need to be able to enter. But yeah, I think if we just carve out a little bit here, that will still be accessible, as will the door. And yeah, there is room here for something big, like a big statement piece. So I think a small tree or a lilac bush or something like that would be perfect here. Maybe magnolia could be nice. Or something that blooms in early spring I think would be beautiful. So yeah, that's something we're still planning to do. At the end of summer, when autumn comes around, I would love to plant bulbs throughout the garden, and also in those planters, those big planters next to the bench. We had chrysanthemums in those, which apparently had been there for years and years and years. The previous owners told us. I think I killed them. I don't know what happened there. No chrysanthemums this year. I cut them back last year. I may have done, maybe I cut them back too soon or too late. But those, they're no longer there. No chrysanthemums popped up this year. So I think I'm gonna just use those planters, just empty them out, use those for bulbs in the early spring, and then some annual throughout the summer next year. And I would like to have some bulbs just scattered throughout the garden. So obviously tulips, alliums. I would love some alliums. Those would go perfect in this garden. I'll think about that once that time comes around, but for now, this is the summer garden. Let me just quickly pop into the front yard to show you that little flower with its fleeting blooms. It is beautiful, isn't it? I have that same wildflower seed mixture all throughout here. All of this was covered in ivy, so I ripped out all of that ivy and now it's flowers. I would love to put loads of bulbs here as well. I think this would look stunning if it was completely covered in tulips. That's our front door right there, and then just to have this path of tulips next to it, oh, that would be amazing. But for now, we have these wildflowers. So yeah, this is the one. We have this in the back as well, but they bloom so short. These are the front yard hydrangeas I was talking about. Like, obviously these look way better than the ones in the back. So I probably need to neglect my hydrangeas a little more in the back, but I also think it might be too late for that now, and if I do it now, they would just die. My Olivia rose has popped. Look at how stunning this is, and the best thing about this rose is that it smells absolutely divine. I wish you guys could smell this because it's incredible. Oh, there's a dead branch here. The Snow White one, not quite yet. I think it needs a couple more days before those pop as well, but it looks nice and white looking at it. Anyways, there is one more thing I want to do today, one final thing for this update. We were recently gifted this insect house, which I think is really fun, and I think the perfect place to put this would be right there, just over our vegetable patch. That's where we want our pollinators, and we have some space there. I don't really want to put it up against the fence in the back there because I want to trail that clematis across there, and I think, yeah, I think this would be the perfect place to do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and figure out how to mount this. Oh, that's really simple actually, just comes with 2 hooks. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. Now all there's left to do is cross our fingers and hope we get some inhabitants there soon. That is going to conclude this garden. As always, if you have any tips for me, they're very welcome. This is my first year of gardening still, and I don't always know what I'm doing. In fact, most of the time I don't. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more garden updates as well as house updates and all the other things that I do. If you'd like to support me through Patreon, there's a link in the description box below. Thank you so much for your support, guys. There's another video here that I think you might also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!